A bit over a week ago, I got an email from Starnow saying they were getting an update, and that was pretty exciting. And I'm looking at Starnow right now, and honestly, I think they've just dug their own grave. I made an account on Starnow when I was 15. I didn't really start using it till I was 19, but still, when I did start using it, basically I didn't stop. 2021 was my epic movie year, and that wouldn't have happened if not for Starnow. It basically just opened so many doors for me. I went here and there and everywhere thanks to Starnow, and looking at it right now, it's just depressing. What made Starnow stick out from the crowd when it came to these casting agencies was that A, it was cheap, B, it was simple, C, it was a colourful looking website, D, it was so easy to use, not complicated, E, you didn't need to put in tons of filters and whatnot, like it almost chose for you perfectly. And yet now, after this so-called update and improvement, I can hardly say the same for anything there. And I am far from the only one disappointed. If you go to Starnow's Instagram page, which I don't even follow anymore, you look at their latest post about the big update, and you look at the comments. Then you go to Twitter, and you look at their tweet about the big fancy update, and you look at the comments there. That'll tell you all you need to know. There is not one positive comment who says, yeah, this update is wonderful. Every comment is, change it back. Put it back the way you found it, Starnow. You were perfect. What happened? That's more or less what we're all kind of thinking right now, is it was perfect. What happened? Now everybody's heard of Backstage. Backstage is possibly one of the most popular and most famous and most used casting agencies in the world. It's a global thing. However, I don't like Backstage, and it looks like a lot of people don't, because of how complicated it is. And I tried using Backstage last year, and it was pretty average, I gotta say. I put in my location as, acting in Melbourne and Mornington. More Melbourne, there's not much filming and happening up in Mornington, which is where I spend most of my time. And it would show me, actors wanted that would have a perfect role for me, filming in London. And I'd literally say, Backstage, are you run by an AI that somehow forgets things or what? And then I also put in my filters as to what I look like, what kind of characters I can play. And it would say, 40-year-old African-American woman wanted for play. It's not really what I was saying. And now this filter problem has just come up again in Starnow, which it didn't used to. And it's basically like Starnow has just become Backstage again. That's what a lot of comments were pointing out. They left Backstage because they didn't like Backstage, and they joined Starnow because Starnow was better because of how simple it was. If we wanted a Backstage, we'd get an application on there. We'd apply for a profile there, which I did, and it sucked. I mean, no offense to Backstage users, but Starnow was better. And what we've got now is just Backstage Part 2. And that's not what anyone wants, alright? There were like tens of thousands of users on Starnow. And what I'm looking at right here is not what we're paying for. Now this bears a simple question as to, has anything gotten better? And honestly, I don't think so. Let me show you the so-called perks and improvements according to the email. Instant access to all jobs. Yeah, we already had that. Unlimited headshots, videos, and audio files. Yeah, but a profile doesn't need more than 10 photos or something. If you put a whole gallery in there, it's going to look like you're trying too hard. Alright, there already should be a limit. So that unlimited headshots thing, that's not really helpful. Virtual auditions. No need for Zoom. Was anyone complaining about having to use Zoom? Because I didn't mind using Zoom. I don't think anyone did. Again, this perk didn't really do much. Submitting self-tapes directly through the site. Yeah, again, I don't think anyone really minded having to submit links through to private YouTube videos or Vimeo auditions. I really don't. So again, I don't really know why they put that in. What they've done with these kind of useless upgrades and this complete downgrade in return of the website is basically like, if I didn't like what I looked like and I wanted to be able to fly, so I amputate both my legs and then get a pair of rocket engines put in place so I can fly, only for the rocket engines to not work, and then I'd be stuck with no legs. I mean, that's a bit of a strange example, but more or less it's the same. Tried to make an upgrade, tried to make things better, and ended up causing the exact opposite. Another thing worth asking is why? Why did they do this? It was literally the perfect casting website that I was using day and night. Like, pretty much every day I went to that website to apply for new roles and to meet new people and to talk to new directors and talk to new actors and everything. And now it's more or less unusable because it's basically just Backstage again. But what I've just read up about is that Backstage actually owns Starnow. They purchased it last year. So that bears the question, was this just done for money? Or was it that they were doing it to just expand their one big network that consists of multiple websites, including Backstage, Starnow, Mandy, and probably a few others as well? Was this just done for the sake of corporate greed rather than an actual attempt to improve what they had? Now, despite what it sounds like, I'm not attacking Starnow. Like I said, they are, or at least used to be, possibly my favorite website of all time because it was so useful for me. And I don't want to burn any bridges by talking shit about them. I'm just saying, they really need to fix this because this is it's becoming rather uninviting as a website. Like, possibly one of the worst things is that it used to show basically the credits, or I think it was called castings, which is a little number that shows how many times you've been cast through a Starnow project. I had 7 films that I had been in through as a result of Starnow. 7 bridges crossed, and there was actually more, but it said 7, and that's fine. Now it doesn't say anything. So how are people supposed to know how experienced I am? Plus, there's no following system. You can't follow people and get followers. What, are they trying to stop us from having friends now? Now, I'm sure things will be fine with all the comments and everyone going berserk. They know that they're going to probably lose users if they don't change it back. So I'm sure they will change it back, or they will fix this in some way. I'm sure everything's going to be fine, but if it isn't, or if it is, whatever, I will update and we'll see how things go. Alright? Because they've made a mistake. Let's hope they fix it.